Welcome to today's deep dive. So imagine if you could just download the brain of the absolute most experienced person in your entire company right into a flash drive.
Right, which sounds totally like science fiction.
Totally. But, instead of just plugging it in and reading a bunch of boring PDF files or like
Eh,
dry standard operating procedures, you could actually sit down, have a coffee with them, and ask for advice on a really complex problem.
Yeah, a real back and forth conversation.
Exactly. Because we were looking down the barrel of a massive looming global workforce crisis,
hmm
and the technology designed to solve it is, well, it's basically about capturing human mastery before it vanishes forever.
The stakes we're dealing with here are incredibly real. I mean, we are transitioning into an AI-enabled operational era right now.
Right.
And the reality that industries are waking up to is that standard training manuals or, generic scrape the internet chatbots, they are entirely insufficient for high-stakes environments.
Yeah, they just don't cut it. Okay, let's unpack this. Our mission today is to dig into a fascinating strategic white paper from Eon AI Ventures, dated May 15th, 2026. It's titled The Brainy AI Family Launch.
And we are looking at a fundamental shift in how human expertise is preserved and transferred. Eon AI Ventures, they're a Singapore-based leader, and they're really at the forefront of this.
So the urgency behind this shift is being driven by something they call the silver tsunami.
Yes, the demographic cliff.
Right. The stat here is wild. 50% of seasoned professionals across critical global industries are expected to retire in the next 5 to 7 years.
It's massive.
Half of the most experienced workforce they're just going to walk out the door.
And when you lose half of your senior staff in a half-decade window, they aren't just taking their institutional memory with them. They're taking their tacit knowledge.
Tacit knowledge. Let's define that for a second.
Yeah, so tacit knowledge is really the holy grail of operational safety and efficiency. It's not the stuff you can easily write down in a manual.
Right, it's on a checklist.
Exactly. It is deep, situational, field-tested expertise. It's like a 30-year mechanic knowing that a turbine sounds just a fraction of a decibel off before a catastrophic failure.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Or a logistics manager understanding the exact nuance of a supply chain bottleneck because, well, they navigated a nearly identical crisis 2 decades ago.
Right, you can't put listen for the slight hum of the turbine into a multiple choice training quiz. It's entirely experiential.
Precisely. So when those seasoned professionals retire, that knowledge just vanishes. Incoming workers can't reach competency fast enough, operational risks skyrocket, and companies suffer this massive, dangerous knowledge drain.
So to stop the bleeding, Eon AI Ventures created a solution targeting these high-stakes enterprise sectors. We're talking energy, aerospace, smart manufacturing, the EV workforce, healthcare, construction, maritime operations.
It's very broad operational scope.
It really is. And they are launching with 11 named enterprise experts under the banner of Brainy Veteran AI.
And what's fascinating here is that these are conversational AI characters built with deep, specialized expertise. Eon AI Ventures is deploying them through 2 primary SKUs.
Right. So tell me about those SKUs.
Well, the first is a standard SKU, which offers off-the-shelf personas designed to emulate senior expertise for specific industries.
Okay, so prepackaged experts.
Exactly. But the deployment strategy that completely changes the paradigm of workforce training, the absolute game changer, is their custom SKU, which they market as My Veteran.
I was absolutely fascinated by the mechanics of this My Veteran concept when I read the white paper.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
It's insane.
Yeah.
Wait, so a company doesn't just buy a generic expert off the digital shelves. They literally take their own retiring employee, let's call him Bob, who has been running the factory floor for 30 years, and they capture his highly specific institutional knowledge.
Yes.
And then they use this persona engine to turn Bob into an interactive AI mentor for the new hires.
That is exactly how it works. It has huge operational benefits. But, how do you actually extract 30 years of tacit knowledge? I mean, you can't just hook Bob up to a machine and hit download.
Right, that is the crucial hurdle. And it's managed through their proprietary persona engine. Think about the digital footprint a 30-year veteran leaves behind.
Oh, right. Logs, emails, that sort of thing.
Exactly. The AI ingests decades of their specific operational logs, maintenance reports, incident debriefs, safety audits.
That's a lot of data.
It is, but it goes beyond just reading their past paperwork. The engine uses direct conversational extraction.
Like an interview.
Basically, yes.
Hmm.
Essentially interviewing the veteran, running them through countless hypothetical and historical scenarios to map their specific decision-making trees and risk assessment frameworks.
Hmm.
It literally encodes their nuanced judgment.
So it's not just learning what Bob did, it's learning how Bob thinks when things go wrong.
Exactly. And to illustrate the point, let's look at one of their standard SKU examples from the paper. Mike.
Right, the drilling guy. Yeah, Mike is a retired offshore drilling veteran with 34 years of experience working on rigs in the Permian Basin and the North Sea.
So he has seen it all. The brutal storms, the sudden pressure drops, the cascading equipment failure.
He's seen everything.
Mhm.
So put yourself in the shoes of a new hire on a high-stakes rig floor. The company has already lost its actual veterans to the silver tsunami.
Because they all retired.
Right. So instead of just flipping through a dense, dry technical manual while a drill pipe is malfunctioning, you are interacting with Mike.
Wow.
The AI has the encoded judgment of a 34-year veteran. It drastically reduces the training time required for you to reach operational competency.
Because you're getting straight to the answer with context.
Yes, and more importantly, it ensures operational safety. When you are facing a complex, high-pressure scenario, you aren't asking a generic AI for a textbook answer. You are consulting an AI encoded with field-tested, life-saving judgment.
I see the immense value there, especially if you're a podcaster, or really anyone, trying to pitch this to a boardroom operational safety and reducing new hire training time are massive cost savers.
Huge. It's a completely defensible ROI.
Preserving that institutional knowledge means the next generation doesn't have to relearn everything the hard way through dangerous and expensive trial and error.
Exactly.
But I have a question. Here's where it gets really interesting to me. If tacit knowledge is inherently physical and spatial, like manipulating valves on an oil rig or operating heavy aerospace machinery, how does a conversation transfer that skill?
That's a very perceptive point.
Because chatting with Mike on a tablet isn't going to build muscle memory. You can't just text your way to knowing how to operate heavy machinery.
You've hit on the exact limitation of single-modality AI, or just text or just voice isn't enough. And it is precisely why Eon AI Ventures didn't just build a smart chatbot.
Okay, so what did they do?
They integrated this conversational AI with a massive existing infrastructure, Eon Reality's Genesis 3 spatial XR platform.
Spatial XR. Extended reality.
Yes. XR bridges that gap between cognitive understanding and physical execution.
So we are bringing these AI veterans into, like, immersive, virtual, three-dimensional working environments.
Yes, stepping right into the environment. And to understand why this works so well, you have to look at the foundation they are building on. Eon Reality brings 25 years of operating history to this integration.
25 years. That's practically ancient in the tech world.
It is a massive backbone. They have over 4,400 institutional customers and a catalog of over 9,000 existing courses.
Wait, those numbers are actually the key to this whole thing.
Hmm.
Because they already have 9,000 courses and this massive institutional history, they don't have to build the virtual 3D models of an oil rig or an aerospace factory from scratch.
No, the infrastructure is already there.
Right. They already have the digital blueprints of the valves, the turbines, and the factory floors. They are essentially taking the AI brain of Mike the drilling veteran and dropping it into a virtual world they've already constructed.
That is the exact mechanism. And from a psychological and educational standpoint, this integration is absolutely crucial for real-world skill retention.
How so?
By immersing the user in the spatial context of the job, the AI isn't just answering questions, it's guiding experiential learning.
So you put on a headset.
Yes, you put on a headset and you literally step onto Mike's virtual rig floor. You see the valves, you hear the environmental noise, you physically interact with the digital space, while the AI veteran watches your actions and corrects your technique in real time.
Man, it's the difference between reading a flight manual and sitting in a highly advanced flight simulator, the pilot whispering in your ear.
That's a perfect analogy. You are experiencing the stress, the spatial awareness, and the physical sequence of actions. That immersion is how you cement tacit knowledge and prevent dangerous operational errors.
That is wild.
And this combination of the expert brain with the expert environment creates a highly defensible position in the market.
Against competitors, you mean?
Right. If another tech company develops an AI that only uses text or voice, it simply cannot compete with a platform that allows you to walk through a spatial, virtual replica of your specific factory floor while your retired mentor guides your hands.
Right. They've built a massive moat by marrying the knowledge to the physical context. Single modality AI doesn't stand a chance against that.
Exactly.
Okay, so saving industrial energy grids and aerospace manufacturing from the demographic cliff is obviously a monumental undertaking. But what really caught my attention is how this technology scales.
It scales incredibly well.
Yeah, it doesn't just live on million-dollar corporate factory floors.
Yeah.
It scales down to the deeply personal level, right into the everyday life of the consumer.
And that brings us to their second major product line, Brainy Coach.
Right, Brainy Coach.
Yes. While Brainy Veteran AI is tailored for enterprise, Brainy Coach targets consumer and career applications. They are launching with 9 named coaches covering areas like AI fluency, health literacy, career navigation, entrepreneurship, certifications, income generation, pathway design.
That covers basically all the major stress points of adult life.
It really does. And this is all integrated with a direct-to-consumer platform called ohwow.ai
Huh.
and the AI Founder Program.
It's taking the same underlying technology, the persona engine, the deep expertise, the XR integration, and applying it to the bottlenecks in our personal lives.
Precisely.
But I think we need to look closely at the boundaries here, especially with a persona like Maya from the white paper.
Maya's a great example.
Yeah, she's their health literacy coach. Her background is what? A nurse educator who spent 6 years working in a level 1 trauma ER?
That's her persona's background, yes.
Right, but if I am sitting at home feeling terrible and I boot up an AI nurse for medical advice, well, wait, that sounds like a massive liability. If I'm using Maya for medical advice, isn't that dangerous? An AI trying to practice medicine is a recipe for disaster.
This raises an important question, and it is a critical concern. Eon AI Ventures has drawn a very explicit ethical and practical boundary here.
Okay, good. So what's the boundary?
Maya is strictly an educational guide. She does not diagnose.
Okay, she expressly does not replace a clinician.
Exactly. Her design actually addresses a very specific structural failure in modern healthcare. And that's the reality that patients typically only get 7 minutes with a clinician during an appointment.
Ugh, 7 minutes. That is so true.
It's really not enough time.
Not at all. You wait 3 months to see a specialist, you sit in a waiting room for an hour, your anxiety is through the roof, the doctor finally rushes in, and you have exactly 7 minutes to articulate complex symptoms and absorb a treatment plan.
And most people just freeze.
Yeah, you forget half the things you wanted to say the second the doctor walks in the room.
Exactly the problem Maya solves. Her role is to maximize that tiny clinical window.
By prepping you beforehand.
Yes. By interacting with Maya before the appointment, a user can explore their symptoms educationally. Maya helps them understand the medical terminology they might hear, explains what certain tests are looking for, and most importantly, she prepares them to ask the right, informed questions.
So she takes a confused, anxious patient and empowers them to be an articulate advocate for their own health.
Exactly. She's essentially a translator and a prep coach. It bridges that massive gap between confusion and action, completely avoiding the danger of actual diagnosis. It's about personal empowerment.
That is so smart. And we see a similar empowerment model, Anna, another consumer persona they mentioned.
Yes, Hannah.
Anna is the AI fluency coach. She's a former AI startup product manager, and her focus is teaching non-technical professionals how to leverage AI.
Anna represents the democratization of mastery. We are entering an era where AI fluency is becoming as fundamental as basic computer literacy was 20 years ago.
Right, like knowing how to use Microsoft Word or send an email.
Exactly. But you shouldn't need a computer science degree to navigate it. You just need a coach who can break the concepts down into actionable steps. Anna guides you through utilizing AI tools in your specific field, whether you are a marketer, a teacher, or a small business owner.
It's completely removing the intimidation factor of new technology.
That's the goal.
And when you look at both the industrial scale of Mike the oil rig veteran and then the personal scale of Maya and Anna, you realize they're fundamentally solving the exact same problem.
Which is the growing gap between human capability and rapid technological change.
Right. The world is just moving much faster than standard training or education can keep up with.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this is why Eon AI Ventures describes its overarching mission as serving as the acceleration layer.
The acceleration layer. I like that phrase.
They are the critical bridge between AI capability and workforce readiness. They actually currently have pilot deployments active right now with leading industrial operators in the energy sector.
Oh, so this is already in the field.
Yes, and they are pushing expansions into manufacturing, maritime, and aerospace. They are proving that knowledge is only valuable when it is understood and applied.
So what does this all mean for you listening to this deep dive? Think about the friction in your own professional and personal life.
There's a lot of friction out there.
Tons of it. But we are looking at a future where you never have to face a complex new job, a daunting medical appointment, or a midlife career pivot alone.
Never alone.
You will always have a master of that specific domain sitting right beside you, ready to coach you through the friction. I mean, if you're trying to reduce training time or boost operational safety at your company, or just trying to navigate your health, the benefits are undeniable.
By combining named domain experts with immersive spatial XR and a rigorous course infrastructure, Eon AI Ventures is ensuring that vital human expertise doesn't just sit on a hard drive gathering digital dust.
Right.
We aren't just saving data from retiring workers, we are democratizing mastery. As global industries transition fully into AI-enabled operations, this multimodal experiential approach is exactly what long-term workforce readiness requires.
It completely reframes how we view human capital.
It really does.
Well, let's take a step back and look at the massive territory we've covered today. We started with the very real threat of the silver tsunami, that demographic reality that half of our most seasoned experts will retire in the next 5 to 7 years.
Threatening to take a century of collective, unwritten tacit knowledge with them.
Which is terrifying.
Yeah.
But then we examined how Eon AI Ventures developed the Brainy Veteran AI, specifically the My Veteran Custom Ski, to capture that irreplaceable institutional knowledge.
Yes, ensuring operational safety and dramatically reducing training times for new hires by turning retiring Ba or Susan into interactive mentors.
And we then explored how chatting just isn't enough for physical jobs. We looked at the integration with the Genesis 3 Spatial XR platform.
Right, stepping onto those virtual rig floors with might.
Exactly. Using immersive environments to gain the experiential learning required to actually cement those skills in the real world. That real-world skill retention is everything.
And finally, we scaled that technology down to the individual with Brainy Coach, looking at personas like Maya and Anna, who empower us to maximize those brief 7-minute doctor visits and navigate the complexities of AI in our own careers.
It's a vision of a future where human expertise is infinitely scalable. And as we wrap up this deep dive into the Eon AI Ventures white paper, I want to leave you with one final mind-bending thought to ponder.
Oh, alrighty.
We spent a lot of time talking about Bob, Susan, and Mike leaving the workforce, right?
Mm-hmm.
And their expertise being transformed into AI mentors to save their company.
Yes.
Well, if a system can capture a retiring worker's entire professional essence, ingest their decades of hard-won, nuanced judgment, and turn it into a custom skew sumper, what does that mean for your personal legacy?
Wow.
Right. 50 years from now, will your great-grandchildren, or the people who take over your role at work long after you've retired, be able to put on an XR headset, sit across a virtual desk, and ask you for advice?
That is profound.
And if they can, think about what you would want your avatar to say. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep asking questions, keep exploring, and we'll see you next time.